Welcome to TDC with Unstoppable Tracy and Patricia Gagic on Unstoppable You and Your TV, Cogeco and Roku, a live streaming platform around the world. And so because we have Halton local folk, we have Hamilton resident Patricia Gagic, and we also have international folk listening in, and we have an international award winner. There are so many pieces of the puzzle that I am excited to put together with Patricia today. Welcome, Patricia.
Hi, Tracy. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here with you. Congratulations on some of that recent media with your international award-winning art. Will you tell our listeners a bit more about your art?
Yeah, well, it's actually been quite an interesting time. A few years ago, yes, I actually was awarded the gold medal at the Salon National Beaux-Arts event at the Carrousel du Louvre in Paris. And it was amazing, Tracy. I'm the first female photographer in the photography category, Canadian, to win the award. So it was very exceptional. And the piece was called The Path, and just a black and white photograph, but I was pretty shocked. And then, in between that, there's several other awards that I received in Italy, and then part of the Ambassadors of Art with Dr. Franco Russo. And then I guess the coolest thing is that the Academic Society, Arts, Sciences, and Letters in Paris awarded me a silver medal a couple of years ago. And now, because of COVID, I wasn't able to go, and they delayed the award, but I'm receiving the pewter medal in this year. If it happens, I can be in Paris in October, but they haven't confirmed yet that they're still doing it. So yeah, it's been like a real whirlwind.
A whirlwind of a journey. And we're going to do our best to overlay some of your artwork of all these awards and for people to see your style. But for our viewers with vision loss, can you describe what your style is for them?
Yeah, so I have this, I've been really fortunate since 1999. I have had a mentor in France, in Savoyon and Mont Ventoux, and he's an artist who has dedicated his entire life to, only doing art. And his name is Dragan Dragic. And I am the only person in his life that he's ever had this length of time, female Canadian for sure only. So I've been his protege.
Nice.
And it's the Matisse palette, combined with his and my own, shifts and changes in it. But
Yes.
my work is very etheric. It's very, I sort of feel as if it's a landscape of the mind. It's transcendental realism. I like to approach things in a very abstract way, but at the same time, I try to paint something that is unrecognizable, even though you think it might be a landscape or you see something in it, but it allows you to sort of go to that place of a clearing in your mind where you have to seek out and find the aspects of the work that you resonate with. And maybe sometimes it's a bit of a discomfort. And in that discomfort, you find, I always call it this complex simplicity, where it looks easy and you think you're going to get to it, but it takes some work. And that's why I like, using art as a vehicle for people for transitioning or transforming their lives. Yes.
I mean, and even the way you verbally describe it already invites us to listen and feel and stretch in that discomfort,
Mm-hmm.
feel more capable and able and in touch with the world because of what you're inviting. And people will see that from some of the pictures we might be flashing. And you honor your mentor in that he's completely an artist in his 100% of his time. But
Yes.
I think what I respect about you, and maybe it's where you tap into some of the feelings that you evoke in your artwork, but you are also an author, also chief visionary officer with Help Heal Humanity, and also a CFO in Hamilton Vein Clinic. I mean, and that's not even half of it. These are just some of your reality time fillers that's
Right.
going on in your life. Can you tell us a little bit more about, let's start with Help Heal Humanity.
Yes, myself, I'm a very left side, right side person. Definitely,
Yeah.
but yeah, the um, my whole life I've always felt to be in servitude, and from early pinnings, years and years and years of donating my time and effort and money and help and whatnot. So back in 2006, though, I had an opportunity to assist in the building of the first library in Angkor Wat in Siem Reap, Cambodia. And in 2007, after the completion of the library, I flew to Cambodia. And that's where I realized that this was a super important part of the world. And the story of, how it came to be is it's raw because of Pol Pot and the entire Khmer Rouge regime, and the basically the Buddhists, the monks and whatnot, were not able to. They had to hide the books so they weren't burned during the early 70s when this happened. So
Oh,
they buried them underground in the stupas, in the cemeteries. So then, fast forward 25 years later, Master Kawan, who's one of the gatekeepers of Angkor Wat, and 4 or 5 generations in his family, he decided the time had come for him to take the teachings, these folklore and Cambodian folklore, the teachings out and rewrite them on reeds, and then be able to have them to serve, the future. But the government wanted to shut down the little area because it's such an eyesore, and UNESCO was going in to refurbish, all the sandstone structures in Angkor. And he thought, if I build a library, if I just build a place that I can house this and make it work, maybe they won't shut us down and they won't send him away to Phnom Penh, where he would
yeah.
have to spend the rest of his time in a monastery. And my friend Kathy happened to be there, honestly, like that minute when it was all taking place. And she called me and she said, Patricia, I need $5,000. And I said, oh my gosh, are you in trouble? She goes, no, you're building a library. So I sent the money. And again, as I said, I went there. And then once I was on the ground and I realized what was actually needed, then I really dug my heels in and we participated in building a school. They had a small orphanage there. Then we built a school for the monks and the nuns. And then, so fast track again in another area in Buyang Miala, where it had been completely isolated, this village, because of landmines. They had finally opened up the area. And Master Kawan said, there's 45 children, actually 70 children, who have never seen a book, a pen, or a pencil. They've been isolated. And we want to bring them the opportunity to change their lives. Will you help us? So that happened. So another segment of this was that my friend Serena Buffalino had actually, at the time of the Haiti earthquake, with her students, decided they would build a school in Cité Soleil. So after a decade, she had that up and running. And when we connected, we decided that we would put our works together and bring education. And with COVID, it's turned into food insecurities and insufficiencies and feeding the homeless, going into the tents in Toronto and Hamilton and the encampments. So we took a little bit of a shift, but we're still working really hard to bring program, to the small places. Alternative learning is what we really like to call it. And so that's what formed Help Heal Humanity. And now we have a 501c3 in the US and a board, and Serena already had it established in Spain. And so that's
Dropping
one part of
through
it.
right here in Ontario and around
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's so many stories. And I know you have more stories. And we haven't even touched on the Hamilton Vein Clinic or any of your significant women contributor roles and awards out there. But we need to go to a break and we've needed to go for a break for a bit, but it's been so hard to want to stop these beautiful stories. So listeners, please come back right after this break to hear more of Patricia's stories, heartfelt, authentic warmth they must be inspiration for her transcendental, incredible art, award winning there too. And we're going to hear more about her vein clinic and some of her most powerful women in Canada award and Hall of Fame award and Lifetime Achievement Award. And we're already getting a glimmer of why she's winning those awards. So please stay tuned right after the break to join Patricia Gagic and Unstoppable Tracy on TDC, on Roku, on your TV, on Kojiko. Positive thoughts. We'll be right back.